Yes. People, what's going on? How's everybody doing? I've been away for a little bit during Eid, so big up to everyone. Eid Mubarak. Hope everybody had themselves a wonderful Eid. Wonderful show for you guys today. There's some stuff that we need to discuss about Gabriel Magalhaes' injury, Bukayo Saka coming back to galvanize Arsenal in the victory that we just had yesterday, and of course, Andrea Berta is in talks with Nico Williams camp. But before we go any further, I got a wonderful guest for you, and I got more guests coming through. But first, we got Connor in the building. Connor, I don't think you can stay for long. You said, right? You got to go.
I've got about 45 minutes to stay.
Right. That's more than enough time to discuss everything we need to talk about. But before we go any further, please do hit that like button, guys. Please do hit that subscribe button, and let's start with the bad news, because there's some bad news, bro. There is some bad news. You seen the Gabriel Magalhaes stuff?
I don't know. I haven't seen the update. No.
I'm just talking about yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Listen, it sucks. It's ironic that we've had Saka return, and then that's just happened to us straight away. I like to say our best defender. So we had our best attacker gone, and now we've had our best defender taken away from us.
I would say best defender this season based on performances.
Well, this season, yeah. I think Saliba.
I still think Saliba is the better of the two long term. Yeah. But hey, that's just me. What made me mad was the fact that he had to hobble around and continue to play after it was visible that he was injured. Look at this. He's literally begging and pleading to stop the game. We're the first guys to kick the ball out of play
at the time.
We're the first people to kick the ball out of play the moment somebody gets injured. But why didn't he just sit down?
He should have. He should have made it more clear that he was injured. If he sat down,
because he's a defender, if he sits down, he's playing everybody onside.
That's true as well. But I mean, if you look at it in a case, listen, it's a shit situation to be in. I mean, at that time, I believe Fulham were in possession, right? They were in possession while he was hobbling around.
Yeah.
You know, some teams are going to be greedy, aren't they? And they're going to carry on playing like that because, you know, at the end of the day, in harsh reality, that could get you a goal if he's playing like that and they decide to give it. It is a shame, but it was 10-15 seconds. I wouldn't hopefully say it's going to extend his injury, but it's not ideal, is it? But I honestly do think in the best scenario he probably should have laid down, but you can say he would be playing them on side in a certain situation, but it's just unfortunate, man. And in a game that we've got next week, it just sucks. It really does. I mean, I hope that we have Ben White back, so I wouldn't mind possibly seeing maybe Timber at centre back. I'd be a bit more comfortable with that, but I don't like the idea of having Gyökeres at centre back for Real Madrid. It sounds awful. Really, it's not good.
Before we even get to Gyökeres, Gabriel Magalhaes, is doubtful for the Real Madrid match, and it's going to be a huge miss. Arsenal's winning percentage with Gabriel Magalhaes is 60. Compared to when he's absent, it's 40%. So we lose 6 out of our 10 games without him. But you know what? The injuries that we've had this season, I don't think people really speak about it enough. Can we just take a second and just speak about some of these injuries? So Gabriel Magalhaes, Timber, Raheem Sterling, Martinelli.
Don't count Sterling. Don't you?
No. I'm going to count everybody, bro. Call me shameless. Call me whatever you want. But these are all the players who've been injured and how many games they have been injured for up until this point. Now, Tomiyasu, whatever anybody wants to say, if he is fit and available, he gets game time. He is a reliable player.
Yeah.
If he's available, he can be relied upon when he's on the pitch. Ben White, another crucial piece to the puzzle. Saka, crucial piece to the puzzle. Kieran Tierney, he's not really in the picture, but since he's come back, we've had to play him because we just had no choice. Jesus, as much as you might not rate Jesus or other people might not rate Jesus, I think Jesus is a key piece to this team at this moment in time due to the lack of striker options that we have.
I've got to ask: Are we narrowing down with our injury situation, which is true? It's very true. You know, I take these are the games they've missed, right? The amount of games, their injuries. Yeah. So, is this to do with why we're not winning the league this season? Is this the point you're trying to make?
No, this is just to show people which injury has been the most impactful in their title hopes. I think because
you know what, and I saw that clip. Hassan made a great point. We had all of our players before it really went south. You know, Liverpool,
that's not true. Mikel Moreno and Ødegaard were injured earlier in the season. I think Tomiyasu was injured for a majority of the season.
Yeah, but we've got players better. The only player I can make for the case of that would be Ødegaard. But then again, Ødegaard's been in and out this season. So I think, listen, don't get me wrong, I agree with you, Gal. This season has been, especially with Saka and now Gabriel, it's not been good for us this season. But, you know, and I do agree, we've been very unlucky with injuries this season, especially with the amount of depth we've actually worked, and especially in the defence. We're now going to have to resort to actually, you know, the players that we had to have the great depth in Tomiyasu or Ben White, you know, they're out, you know, because they could play different positions in the back line. But, you know, if I look at it in the sense of, you know, injuries, yes, we've been unlucky. But in the case of when those injuries have been, instead of just counting them as a whole number of how many we've had, instead of looking at the times we've actually had those injuries, we've still had those players in the situations where we could have possibly progressed further in the league to catch up Liverpool. You know, so it's two different stories. But I do agree with the fact that we've been unlucky in terms of the players that have been out. You know, I wish we didn't have that many injuries and games missed this season. But if I look at it in a sense of, you know, we still had our players in those situations where we were above Liverpool or something like that. So
big up Trimless. Before we go any further, I just want to give the final update on Gabriel Magalhaes' injury. This is coming from let me send the link to Femi. This is coming from the physio scout, and he's basically saying Gabriel Magalhaes had to come off early in the second half with a hamstring injury, and basically speaking about how this injury, the recovery time that it might take. If it's just tightness, which I hope it is, just tightness, he could be back in less than a week. If it's a grade 1, he'll be out for 2 to 4 weeks. And if it's a grade 2, it could be anywhere between it could be anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. And if Gabriel Magalhaes is out for 4 to 6 weeks, boys and girls, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, not you guys, it could be a big problem.
Yeah, that's good. Do you know what? Can I be honest with you? I mean, it's a crap situation to be in because, you know, we want to obviously progress to the semi-final. But would I rather him just make sure he's 100% and just firm it without having him for these 2 legs, and then he's back ready, fit for the end of the season, and he's with us for pre-season? I'm now panicking that we're going to make him worse. But I could be wrong. It's, you know, hamstring, like I said, they gave the numbers there. It won't be that much time. I mean, obviously 6 weeks is a lot, but in terms of period of time, when you really think about it, instead of away from the fixtures. But I don't know, man. It's such a shit situation to be in, man. The fact that we've come back from this break listen, it's gonna sound really bad. I don't want any player to get injured, of course, but I'd happily swap if I had the option for this injury. Because he, in my
opinion, swap the injury for?
Anyone? Zinchenko.
Would you rather have Saka back or Gabriel fit?
For Real Madrid, Gabriel. In my eyes, because we're going to have to defend a lot more than I think attack. So, in hindsight, we need one of our our 2 best defenders in the back line. So obviously I'd rather have both, but if I look at it in hindsight and how we're going to probably have to play, yeah, Gabriel would be the one for me.
I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't be surprised if his season's over. How many weeks are left in the season?
Was it now April? So yeah, around 6 weeks. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if his season's over. I don't know about you guys. Maybe I'm a Debbie Downer, but like, I don't think Arsenal should risk him just.
I don't think so either.
Just for the sake of a season that's already looks like it's pretty much almost over. Now, I'm not saying give up. Still play the best team available. We have options. We're going to talk about the options in a second. But Trimless, talk to me. What do you think, man?
No, I'm strongly with Connor in that sense, and I know it's a bit of hope is going into that Real Madrid game, but let's be real. Like I said it yesterday, like we owe it to Saka just to let him rest. We know, like with hamstrings, like it's dangerous, man. We saw what happened to Santi Cazorla.
You mean Gabriel Martinelli?
Sorry, Gabriel. Like we saw what happened to Santi. Like, bro, with these injuries, like, and Gabby's played a lot of football, and it was gonna happen. Like, it's mad because last week I said to my friends, yeah, I can't lie, I feel like either Gabby, Rice, or Saliba is probably gonna pull up, bro, because these men have been playing a lot, and boom, Gabriel tries to chase Traore. What do we see? And yeah, he's we're gonna have to do a lot of defending. Yeah, it's a big one. Like there was a tiny bit of hope. Now it's just like I would even rush him back.
You know, one thing I will not take though.
So silly.
I will not take anybody saying blaming Arteta for this injury, because people like to do this thing where they blame the manager for every injury.
You can't do
that. Not blame
surely
I blame him. I'd probably blame him in a situation if we brought him back for the first leg and he injures himself again in the same position. But now you can't blame the manager for this.
It's not direct blame, but I'll be real. Arteta does
off
not
the
have
back of international break.
I mean, he gets the call to put him in the squad. Like he does get the final call. I mean, obviously the physios would tell him, "Yo, we think he's ready," but he also has the final say as well himself.
He's played a lot of minutes, man, and I feel like the rotation could have been a bit better, especially in certain games where, like even what we're going into against PSV with a 7-1 lead, and there's been games stuff like that. Like it's just, bro, these are opportunities where you can rest and stuff, and now we kind of have to pay for it. That's how I see it.
He was playing for Brazil as well, wasn't he? In this break, I don't know. Was he playing? I'm not too sure.
No. He wasn't playing for Brazil. Remember, going into the break, he had a little bit of a niggle.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So he came back and he played 15 minutes and got injured. So I don't think it's a reoccurring injury. I just think this is a freak accident.
Of course it is. It's football. You know, this stuff happens in football, and you can be extremely unlucky. And it's just the way we've got to go about it. And you know, at the end of the day, you do have to look at it. I mean, we've heavily invested in this defense. The club's heavily invested in this defense. You'd like to think that, you know, we're going to be. It's obviously it's different when you take out your best defender, but you like to think we can somewhat adjust to it. It's going to be tricky, because you actually saw last night when Saliba was paired. Maybe it'd be different if he was paired with maybe Timber. But when he was paired with Kiwior, you could see he wasn't the same at all. He was less confident on the ball. He just wasn't the same player when he was defending, especially when he had a lot of pressure on him. So we're going to definitely see a difference. But I'd like to think that we've heavily invested in this defense. But then again, White's out, Calafiori's out, so maybe I can't make that point. But I think if he is not playing next Tuesday, you have to play Timber there. I can't see any other player. I know you obviously want to talk about who could go in Ødegaard, but that for me.
Would you rest players against Everton? Would you rest players or still try and fight?
You know what? I was thinking about this. Everton, I think defensively we won't be as bothered. We can still experiment.
I agree.
I would go with two different defensive lineups throughout the game. First, you start with Timber and Ben White on the right-hand side. And on the left-hand side, you go with Lewis Skelly and Saliba. And then second half, when we're seeing the game out, if we have a lead or anything, you can bring in Kiwior and you could shift Timber. You could shift Timber to the left and take out Miles Lewis Skelly.
Well, we know what Arteta is going to do, because let's be real, Arteta is going to play Kiwior against Real Madrid. So if he's going to do that, it's best.
Do you really think that
Kiwior plays a full 90 against Everton? I'll be real.
Do you really think he'll play Kiwior?
Bro, if Gabriel's not fit, he's going to play. He's going to trust in Kiwior.
Well, Well, do you know what? No, do you know what I'm thinking? I think he'll put Partey back at right back, which will royally fuck us. I think he'll do that.
Yo, we're done. Vinny,
he trusts him there. I don't think he'll be silly. Do you know? Who knows what the manager will do in it? But I genuinely believe if he starts Kiwior, I think even Ødegaard. Can you agree? That is just ridiculous.
No, but we have so many options. Okay, what was the lineup last game when Gabriel Magalhaes did not play? Was it Kiwior?
No.
Actually, who played against Chelsea? Gabriel Magalhaes played against Chelsea.
It was Gabriel Saliba. It was after the game when he had. It was during.
Who played against Man United?
It was. No, it was Gabriel Saliba. He got it after. It was after the Chelsea game ago, but I think it was.
What game was it that he was injured? Nottingham Forest. Was it that game?
I don't think he was actually injured.
When did Gabriel Magalhaes miss a game?
Chelsea, PSV. He didn't miss a game. It happened. It was after the Chelsea. I think he picked up something during the Chelsea game, but they analysed it after full time. I don't think it was during any of the games.
So Magalhaes never missed a game
in December, 8th of December.
It was the last time he missed the game. Yeah, so it would have been after the Chelsea game. They probably analysed and he realised he'd done something, and he was like, right, let's just keep him here for 2 weeks, which obviously now has.
All right.
Screwing
Since Femi's here now, let's talk about Femi. We're just talking about Gabriel Magalhaes' injury. Rumors have it that it could be anywhere between a knock or a 2-week to 4-week injury or season-ending injury for him, and nothing like until next season. Just like 6 weeks would be season-ending for him. So at this moment in time, there's no clarification on what the injury is, but the injury experts are saying it could be anywhere between a grade 1 or grade 2 hamstring injury.
We pray. We pray. I think that's all we can. Like, I feel like it's one of those things. Like we all kind of know. Like, it's not Rob Holding, but Kiwi.
No, it might as well be.
Yeah, he's not paying the bills, man. I watched his and it's funny. I put a tweet out where it was like the audacity he had to demand minutes. I started watching him. I'm like, okay, maybe and it's like it almost feels like every 5 minutes he's doing something that's making me shake, and I don't feel that in games, especially 30, 40, 50 minutes of Gabriel and Saliba really holding the line. I don't feel. It's almost like I kick back. I'm like, yeah, attack. And now Kiwi's in there, and I'm like, okay, let me watch the back with you. Let's watch together.
But what the funny thing is, Femi, when we're linked to defenders, fans get angry. They visibly get angry.
Yeah, but you can understand why, because of how much. But look at how much we've invested in it.
We needed a striker for 3 years. Of course, they're going to get angry.
We're still going to need to invest in it. If the likes of Kiwior,
but isn't that more because? Isn't that more because the personnel?
Let me just finish my thought. If Kieran Tierney, Kiwior, and Zinchenko all leave, best believe they're going to bring in a defender.
That makes sense, though. At the time, that makes sense. And if that happens, but in the previous, last season, the summer just gone, we didn't need to invest in it because we had it heavily invested in. We had the players. I know, obviously, this season injuries have faulted us, but we all knew we needed to strengthen up front. I agree. If that scenario happens, and they all go, then yeah, we do need to invest in it again. Unfortunately,
so what's the solution for now?
Before we go, just really quickly, to be fair, we all kind of went into the season thinking if it was a strong if, and I think maybe the board needs to be held accountable a little for it, but we were under the impression that if we can get Jesus firing again, if we can get him to, he doesn't have to be 100% of 22-23. We weren't looking for that because we knew eventually we were going to sign. But we're like, if we can manage this season, because we had Havertz, we had Martinelli, we had Saka, we had Trossard who came off of last year. We're like, okay, even if we don't, if you don't buy now, next summer has to be the big summer signing. That's the only way a lot of us will rationalize it. But at the time, to me, it made sense. Granted, Jesus got hurt, so it's like at that point.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is kind of crazy? For me personally, I wanted a striker in the summer. This is going to sound really, really bad, but I want to make my point before everyone has a go at me, right? A part of me really, really wishes we didn't score that many goals last season because it made us look like we was okay. But even though it was great that we scored that many goals, but I knew in my heart, in situations where we needed to get over the line, those goals wouldn't happen because I've seen it many times of Arsenal when it's under pressure situations when we need to progress to whether it's a quarter-final, semi-final, or in any cup, in any Champions League, whatever. We always do fall apart. And it's like, oh man, if we had that Isak, if we had that Gyökeres, we could have probably done it. Or if we had that Nico Williams or whoever on the wing, we could have done it.
I think it's
that's why part of me is like, oh, you know what? Fuck, because we scored so many goals, it's kind of blindsided the fact that we still do need more up front.
No, Connor, you're spot on. If anyone's disagreeing with you, they're crazy because you're spot on. But on the guy's point with the defenders, it was more the personnel of defenders was buying. We're buying Calafiori who can't defend. We bought Zinni who can't defend. We've got Tierney who's the better left back. We're now getting rid of. Timber's the only decent defender that we've got who's fit and can stay. Obviously, I know the Ben White situation, but if we actually look at it in terms of centre backs, we've got two. Because Ben White's been forced on the right. We've got two. I don't want to call Kiwior a centre back. I don't even want to call him
so we're 20 minutes in. Let's shift to Arsenal's lineup versus Everton. And I'm just talking about the back line. Forget about the midfield and the forward line because we kind of know Mikel Merino's going to play. We kind of know what the midfield is already. But let's go with the theory that Timber will be fit and available, as Timber did continue to play, and there's no rumor about him actually being seriously injured. He just came off for precautionary reasons. Now, Arsenal could line up with Raya, Ben White, Timber, Saliba, and Miles Lewis-Skelly. Is that the best option, or would you guys experiment at this
Is
moment?
White definitely fit for that game?
Ben White should be available, but that's me assuming.
I have a funny inkling.
If you guys say Ben White's out the picture and you just want sure things, then are you also taking Timber out, which is 50?
No, I thought, in my opinion, if say Ben White's not there, I think Arteta will still play his 11 that he'll play against Real Madrid, because he'll want that. That's why I say Saka will start, because he'll want that team, especially now Gabriel's out, to somewhat gel. I like to think. I mean, they're already kind of gel. They play with each other weekly, but if you're making switches at the back, you're going to have to get these guys real focused together for a game like what's going to happen on Tuesday. I think he will play the 11 that we will play. And I genuinely do believe we will play Timber and Saliba at centre-back, and we will play Partey at right-back. I think it's going to happen.
Partey at right-back?
Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
No chance. No chance. With Mikel Moreno playing in as striker, there's no chance he's now going to shift Partey. Who's going to play in midfield?
It's possible because
but who's going to play in midfield?
Right, Ødegaard, and I mean, I'd love to see maybe Zinchenko in there.
Let him land. Let's hear him out.
Yeah, for me, I think the only I don't want Partey there. God no, fuck no. I want Partey against no way. I don't want him against Vinicius Junior. Oh my God, no. But I know the manager. The manager has faith in that player playing there. I don't, but he does, because the amount of times you've seen him do it. So that's why I think he's going to play there. I think he will play there. 100%. I bet you if Ben White's not available, he will play there against Everton.
100%. I agree with
Maybe not Madrid, but definitely.
Oh, we know Arteta, bro, and he'll play Rice in the. He'll probably play Jorginho.
I'll tell you,
Rice and Ødegaard. He'll play Jorginho, Rice and Ødegaard, bro.
He's not playing.
Oh yeah, Jorginho. That'll be it.
He's not playing Jorginho in this game either.
He has to play right back because Ben White's out.
I'll be honest with you guys. Let's not Real Madrid. The one thing that gingers their soul is transition. We're not going to put our worst transition defending players in situations where we know we're going to get hit on transition. Honestly speaking, I hear you, but there's a difference between us playing Luton, us playing United, and us playing Real Madrid. He's not putting part. Tell me a serious game. Show me a serious game.
It's more. He has got no. We know what Arteta's like, and there's no alternative, bro.
No. Yeah. He'll put Saka there before he's put Partey. No, I won't. I just don't see it, bro. In the back of my head, I'm just thinking. Just think about it, right? We have the ball. We've all of a sudden we lose the ball. One ball over the top, and we have Partey just standing there. Nah, son. Come on.
Imagine Thomas Partey. Imagine Thomas Partey trying to hold on to a 2-goal lead versus Vini, Mbappe, and Rodrigo. He couldn't do it versus Aston Villa.
I'm telling you, I hope people going into this Real Madrid game, I hope you guys are he's prepared you for Haram ball. I've now watched other teams do Haram ball on us. No one says word. So when Arteta decides to now do his own, I don't want to hear word. I don't want to. When I tell you the block the demonic block that we're going to go against Real Madrid, people are going to think that we created anti-football, and I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it. Stink at the joint for 2 games.
100%. Shameless. That's the thing. The reaction. We'll get more respect if we go to the semi-final by doing that than going out.
I don't want to get my hopes up, but I just don't think we can beat Real Madrid.
I beg shift that. Let's talk to real Arsenal fans.
No, Femi. Listen to what I'm about to say. Away from home, if we're in a deficit, we have to beat them at our ground. We can't get a draw
until the cows crow. It's not over, bro.
But Femi, listen to what I'm saying. We have to go into the second leg with an advantage. That's all I'm saying.
And if we don't,
100% we do. But we're not going to.
Here's my thinking, right? I feel like people say this, the one great thing about knockout football is literally anything can happen. I feel like we need to throw logic out the window. Everything that's happened this season, last season, it's on the day, on that specific, those 2 legs, who's there and who's not. And I'm telling you, if Real Madrid goes into this the way we are thinking about, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna push them around. Let Saka just one good transition. Remember that one that one Liverpool goal that we caught Liverpool like that, and people were like, whoa, what happened? I'm telling you, now that we have Saka, we have Martinelli, that now it looks like he's in, like, now he's not little, like, now he's starting to
we'll see. Let's see, because we've seen him go in and out, and I'm like, right,
game.
Let's see.
You know what? Before we talk about Martinelli, do you think Bukayo Saka is going to galvanize Arsenal to the point where we can go and get a result now?
Yes.
Because I think before Saka came, I did not see the pep in the step in the team. Saka came on that pitch, he raised the whole stadium up.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, because it's him returning, but, you know,
I
think at the Emirates, I think the crowd will be up for it. You know, they haven't seen a fixture like this in God knows how long. We haven't anyway as fans. Probably since, God forbid, bloody Bayern. No, I'd say not Bayern Munich. No, Barcelona maybe. Was Barcelona after or before Bayern? I can't remember. You know, so it's been a while since we've had a decent fixture like this. You know, coming to our ground. And you know, I think the fans will be up for it. I think we could maybe get a draw at the Emirates. You know, negative Arsenal fan. He's saying something good, but I think as soon as we do go to their ground, it just will crumble. You know, we've seen what this team is like against hostile grounds.
But we can't even do it.
Majority of the time, they crumble. Look at Newcastle for recent example. They became a shell of themselves. They hid. As soon as that offside goal went in from Isak, that Newcastle crowd was ridiculous, and the whole team just fell in themselves. And at the Santiago Bernabéu, with all those loud fans, it's worrying. But I like to think that my team can hold their own. But am I hopeful for that? No. But I like to think they could, because they're experienced football players. But I think at our ground we can maybe do something. You know, Saka's back. But as soon as we go to their ground, man, I think it's going to be curtains.
All I'm looking forward to in the Bernabéu is passes in the final third. I don't know if we'll get more than that.
Yeah, maybe something like that. And Ødegaard's got to step up as well. He's got to step up, because I'm not having none of this. I'm hiding now. You're the captain.
I think
one of our biggest games in a long time, bro.
I can't lie. This is like the worst version of Ødegaard to have.
The things I criticize Ødegaard about is because I rate him so highly that I feel like he should be having more impact in the game. But now with Saka there, and
he's got no excuse now, yeah.
Some of the players there, I do expect him to be playing at his best. Like I don't think we're gonna see Arsenal team competing at its best without the likes of Martinelli and Saka not stepping up as they do.
Why did Real Madrid have so much problems against Atletico? This is just me asking. This is me just asking the floor. What made Atletico so difficult, and what can Arsenal take from that tie?
Simeone's system is a bastard to play against. I will happily admit that. That's why I was like, a lot of people were lenient, like yourself, Gal, saying you prefer Madrid over Atletico, because they are both teams are difficult, but Simeone's system is tricky to play against. I also like to put it to the fact that Spanish football is very different to English football. You know, you do get completely different things. So the fact that you have two Spanish sides playing each other, it's always a weird outcome. You'll either have like it's weird. You never get in the middle. It's always real narrow results, or you have like 5-6 goals, or like 8 or 9 scored in a game, like they had the other night against Sociedad. Mm-hmm. You know, so in my opinion, it was just down to the fact that Simeone's system is very locked in. That it was a bit hard, but I don't know.
I can't lie though. This narrative of Simeone always playing defensive is kind of, he's not really been doing that this year. It's not really been. I watched ATM this year. It's not really been a defensive approach. They've kind of changed the narrative this year, and it's working for them. It'll be interesting to see how they do against Barca tonight. But I do agree with you, Khan, in terms of the way they're technically adept, and that's why, like you saw last night, it's just a different kind of ball game where the only hope we can have as the Arsenal team is there's the familiarity will be a bit different. However, going to that Bernabéu game, I can't see our players having the chest. Maybe I think like sleep, especially if Gabriel's not out. I think some players may like be a bit worried.
Bro, don't be surprised. These players are professionals. They're not scared of no Mbappe, Vini. I think the fans show more fear than the actual players on the pitch.
From what I've seen, 100%.
So from what I've seen from our players against the likes of everybody they've played against over the last 2 seasons, I've not once seen fear. I've seen lapses in concentration in games where we throw away leads early, but it's never been like they're scared.
And don't you wish? Do you know what?
I don't think Saliba, who plays with Mbappe and played with these guys, is scared of them. I don't think Gabriel Magalhaes is scared of anybody.
Well, can I tell you something? You want to walk into these games.
Fans are scared, and that right there is different.
Do you know? I'll tell you something, Gabriel. Right? If you look at rugby in a sense, I don't know if you guys watch rugby or not, but New Zealand have their little calling at the beginning. I forgot what the name of it is, but it's that famous calling they do to scare their opponents. The haka, that's the one, to scare their opponents. Now, I'm not expecting Arsenal to do the haka. However, I'll make a little assumption here. If you were going into battle, right, would you rather have Martin Ødegaard lead you into it, or someone like Gabriel or Declan Rice lead you into it? I think the problem that we have with our team is, I think we are too soft at times. I really wish we were a lot more fearful on the pitch. We show fear into teams, we tackle into teams. I think people like Ødegaard and the fact that he's our captain makes us real. Like Ødegaard gets shoved around, he can get shoved around real easily. I don't see him as a bulking character who people won't want to go anywhere near. Like even when De Bruyne was at his prime, right? You know, he wasn't the biggest guy in the world, but you were shit scared to come up against him. Ødegaard has his tricks and tricks. He has his moments, but he's never really been a massive threat in terms of if you're going up against him. Maybe that's just my analysis, and maybe I'm wrong.
You know,
I honestly think we're saying this because there's other levels of leaders, and people like different types of leaders. But the managers picked this man as the captain, but we have other leaders in the pitch. It doesn't matter if the Gabriel is holding the armband or what do you call it? Ødegaard is holding the armband. During the game, Gabriel is still going to be marshalling the defense. Ødegaard is still going to be marshalling the midfield, and the attack is going to be led by Saka. And you're going to have moments where Ray is telling them what to do. There's clear leaders in each area of the pitch to tell people what to do. It doesn't matter if he's wearing the armband or not, Connor. To me, Martin Ødegaard doesn't have to go out there and have all this massive aura like everybody's saying. Really and truly, you gain that by winning. And until we start winning major honors, nobody's going to be associating Ødegaard with the aura. Because I remember 2 years ago when he got 15 plus goals, people were putting him in the same conversation as some Premier League goats in the midfield based on his goal output. So,
but in that sense, then I'm trying to think of a player who was like a brick shithouse but didn't win anything. Because you can't just say you win something then instantly you're fearful. I wouldn't use that analysis.
That's how the narrative goes, unfortunately. I
feel like you've got to make your own. Like you want to be scary as an individual
by winning.
Yeah,
but I don't. But then in that case, like,
because
but would you use that in life for Gal? I don't think you would lose.
Let me give you an example. Allen Iverson in NBA days, he never won a championship, but he was feared by his opponents because he could embarrass them on any night. Now you can be feared, but there's different level of feared. Feared by getting embarrassed because you know your inferior opponent, or at the level where we're talking about Kevin De Bruyne or Erling Haaland going up against good players. You don't fear them. You respect them to the point where you're like, I know what I need to do to prepare for these guys. And maybe Ødegaard doesn't have that, but Arsenal definitely does.
Why wouldn't he? Like, I feel like we do. I don't know. I feel like as Arsenal fans, we do this thing where it's like we love talking about the things we can't do versus the things we do. Like for instance, name me a team that can successfully press us. Name a team that can successfully, we cannot get out of the half no matter what we do in the world. Name me a team that can do it against us. Name one. City couldn't do it. Liverpool couldn't do it. I tell you right now for free, Real Madrid won't be able to do it. In terms of building up, we're one of the best in the world. When it comes to Ødegaard, I feel like what we've done is we see one midfielder that we like. And he said because he's not this midfielder, he's not good. We know he's not a PNP guy. We know he's not someone that's going to take the ball, carry 40 yards, hit a pat. We know that's not who he is. But what is he? And what has he been from the 30 million that we took from in order to, and what has he, mind you, when we got him, nobody wanted to come to Arsenal. We forget, like, when he came, it was complete nonsense. We had Ozil. I remember we had Ozil, Guendouzi, We had Xhaka. That was our midfield. And then Maitland-Niles, who was begging to play in the midfield. That's who we had. When Ødegaard came, he got us to this point. And now that we're here, it's almost like, oh, he's not good enough to be here. It's like, when
no one's saying he's not good enough to be here, but he doesn't step up in the times we need him to step up, bro.
You want him to be.
Are you saying he's hiding?
But he's just not like, that's what I'm saying. Like, for instance, there's an example I saw on Twitter where someone put a video and it's like, why didn't Ødegaard just turn on the ball? I'm like, we know he's not one of the faster midfielders and he's not one of the stronger midfielders. You want him to put himself in situations that you know he's going to either be dispossessed and or bulldoze over, and then complain that he lost the ball. So he then does things that make sense for him in his body type, which unfortunately is just who he is. Like, everyone has played with a scrawny midfielder before. We know some of the players that it's like you're afraid to. He's not that.
Bro,
player.
I hear what you're saying.
What about the video? What about the video where on a counter attack he went and occupied the right back position?
What do you mean?
There was a counter attack where he was.
You have to show me.
There was an Arsenal counterattack where he started that counterattack. He played the ball to the left wing, and instead of occupying the central position and running down the middle where nobody was.
Talking about that joint that caused that ruckus before. Ode is not a PMP player. I said it a long time ago. I said, to me, Havertz is a better. I remember one time people hated me for saying, I was like, Havertz is a better transitional creator than Ødegaard. And I was like, oh, why would you say such a thing? It's like, because Ødegaard does not like running. He doesn't like fast pace. He doesn't. Yeah. It's just not who he is. It's like Bernardo Silva, same thing. They don't like it. That's not who they are. And then when you force yourself to put them in that transition box, you then all of a sudden see a bad midfielder. Versus what the board should have done is find somebody who is like, okay, games, we're probably not going to have the ball that much. Let's have someone that we can replace him with. And then now we have different tool sets, which is what they did with Pep. Pep, they just said, give him tools. Give him tools. Oh, he wants this specialist. He wants that specialist. He wants that specialist. Give it to him because he knows in different situations he can plug and play. But it's only Arsenal that we have to use every tool for every situation. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't like what we're doing to Ødegaard. I don't like it. I don't like it as a fan base.
I just need him to be more effective, bro. I hear what you're saying about all this and the type of profile he is, but I'm seeing other clubs' captains step up when they need, bro. Step up in important games. Can you give me one game? Hold on. Give me one game where Ødegaard took that game by the scruff of the neck, and stood up and made it his game.
What is your definition? And when you think of that, right? Do you think that a goalkeeper can take the game of the scruff of the neck? I think it's
a different position.
Mad saves, yes.
So I feel like there's this thing where it's like, because there's an action, it's almost like GA. It's like, because
it's not GA. It's not even GA, bro. He's just a constant 7. When was the last time Ødegaard dropped to 10? Just when was
can I be honest with you, Trimless? The 5-1 against City, but before that, it's not been ages. You think about it, right? Because the 5-1 against City was very, very good. But then again, that was over a month and a half ago now. But you got to look at it in the sense of, we're going back to them. We shouldn't have to go back to them. Listen, he has been injured this season. And listen, I'm not writing it off, right? Ødegaard, as much as I do criticize him very much, but I put him up to that high esteem because of the position he's in at the club, and he's our main outlet of chance creating in the midfield. Me personally, I completely agree with Femi how you've got to go ahead and look at it in a case of he doesn't like running, he doesn't like pressing. We all know that. He does it, but I think he does it because he realizes people get onto him if he doesn't do it. But I know in himself he doesn't enjoy doing it. I'd rather have him more as an 8, 100%. Sitting around, 100%. Creating the odd passes, not having to be much of a more impactful midfielder, having to chase the ball, because I think he prefers that. It's a bit lazy, but I think he works better like that as a footballer, and getting that more progressive 10 who can bomb forward. Nwaneri's shown that this season. I don't really want to put that much pressure on a 17-year-old, but going forward and pressing on the ball, he's got the fire. He has the hunger to do it. Ødegaard doesn't have the hunger to that in and out, but I do think he has the capabilities of being an extremely good in 8 position for Arsenal, picking out passes instead of pressing the ball and then making the runs and passes himself.
You know what I think Martin Ødegaard is a victim of? Martin Ødegaard's a victim of availability this season, because a lot of players who get the best out of him and make him a much better player are the players who run off him and play off him, and they don't necessarily need the ball to feet every 2 seconds. But when you have the likes of Mikel Moreno, Trossard. It's a little bit different. Even Ethan, they kind of need the ball to feet a little bit more, and they don't run onto it. They don't get the ball into dangerous areas and move off the ball as well. And the cohesion just hasn't been there in the final third. We can speak about our midfield. We can speak about our defense being good this season. But one of the main reasons why our attack has not been good this season is because there's been so much chopping and changing throughout the season since Saka got injured, Jesus got injured, Martinelli got injured, Havertz got injured. That's where majority of our complaining about the attack, in my opinion, started. Beginning of the season was different. Beginning of the season, I feel like the reason why people were complaining and saying stuff is because at the beginning of every season, your team is still trying to figure things out, and it's never going to be perfect. The reason why 2022, 2023 was so different is because teams didn't know what we were going to do. They were kind of shocked how good we actually were.
They were.
And now you have more of a sample size. You know how to defend certain players. We don't see Martin Ødegaard getting the same cutback shot on his left foot as he used to because teams kind of stopped that.
So
I think he's. I mean, look at the passes. I mean, what was the game where was it? It wasn't Man United. Was it? I can't remember which game it was. Where he was very worried about making certain passes or making runs. He looked scared to do it. I can't remember which game it was. It was at our ground. I can't remember. Do you not remember? It was clipped all over Twitter. He was.
Literally just asked me about it like 10 minutes ago, and I was saying
I wouldn't say he was scared. I just think he made the wrong run.
I think he's got way too much pressure on his shoulders that I think he doesn't need. Yes, he's the captain of his country, which, by the way, I don't know how he's got that.
Okay, so then let's talk about transfers then, because that's the next step that we need to talk about. Is Nico Williams the solution on the left wing?
Bro, Lookman.
We need the strike. Just get
Lookman, bro.
Lookman,
bro.
Wait. Femi, are you Nigerian?
I am Nigerian. Do I
What's
want
your Nigerian name?
Femi? Oluwafemi. What's my name?
Oh, Oluwafemi. Yeah, because there's always more to just what you're.
Here we go. What's crazy is that Femi means love me, but there was this one guy at my job. He randomly decided to like Google meaning everyone's name, and everyone started laughing. It's like, oh, why is your name love me? It's like Oluwafemi means God loves me. There's the full thing. There's a reason. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, I've gone by Femi all this time, but my mom has always been on, like, don't let people call you Femi. Don't let people free all that.
Listen, again, I do have to bounce, but thank you for having me on, man.
By the way, are you a Nico Williams guy, or you think he's not good enough?
I can't be honest with you. I'm not one of these guys that goes on around saying, yeah, I've watched loads of him. I can't be honest with you. I've barely watched any of him. I've watched a couple of his games, but I haven't watched enough of him to make me think, yeah, he's the guy. But he's been in the paper a lot. People say he's the next upcoming prospect on the wing. But for that much money, I don't know. For me, my priority is striker. I don't want to be talking about wingers till we get.
Don't we need a winger though?
Yes,
we're going to need a winger. But like I just said, I don't want to be talking about wingers until we get that striker done first. Then I want to talk about wingers.
Does it matter as long as we get both?
I would rather get the priority done, which is up front. Just get that done.
I think, honestly speaking, I think get the best striker you can possibly get available, and then get a playmaker left winger to
make your priorities first. We don't.
My thing is, if I'm going to the shop and I'm getting something, as long as I get everything I need, I don't really care which order I get it.
Nah, because it's like, think about it. Let's say you go to the shop and there's like a limited edition, I don't know, noodles. And like, if you know that you and 25 other people are trying to get this one noodle, you have to like be there first, because you know that like, okay, the other, you have to pick what you want first, especially when it's like there's one of each thing. It's not like, oh yeah, like people, you can just get them whenever. So to me, I understand them. Like if there's a possibility to get someone that's really, really, really good, and that person wants.
What happened?
Oh, hello. Sorry, I muted myself.
Yeah.
You should probably prioritize it, and I think he's right.
All right. Are we talking about Victor Gyökeres now, or are we talking about Nico Williams? Which one?
I feel like they're smart enough to know where, like, I think they've learned a lot to like not chase something too much to the point where you lose the next best thing. So it's like, I feel like they really don't want to give up on Isak. I feel like they really, like, it's really paining their chest that they have to. But I feel like watching him celebrate the Carabao Cup like that, I don't know. He's like, all right, maybe the kid actually does like Newcastle. Maybe he really wants to stay. And if that's the case, we can't wait another summer. We can't wait another winter.
You know what the real answer is? This weekend, if Newcastle drop points and Chelsea secured Champions League football,
we have to talk to Isak and his peoples, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they're even,
I'm not gonna lie to you, Femi. I've given up on Isak, and I think Arsenal have too, because the price, one, and number two, they don't need to sell.
That's what I'm saying. If Isak don't want to leave, then they let it go. That's my only thing. If the people who can talk to Isak, they ring him, and it's either they're not responding or they're like, let's talk at the end of the summer or some wild nonsense, leave it alone. Forget it. If there's a
Newcastle could replace Tottenham as a solidified top 4 team going forward.
Hey, if that's what he wants with his life, hey, by all means. Hey, we tried to save you, my boy.
I don't think Victor Gyökeres is a bad option.
It's not a bad option.
The guy scores goals in
He's not bad option. He's not bad
option. But I seen Alex
been doing it though.
I seen Alex post that he watched Y Scout and he doesn't think he's the type of striker that would benefit us.
Well, Gyökeres.
But we have
I have a similar mentality because of how Gyökeres likes. Like Isak would be more effective against low blocks than Gyökeres.
Marino has 5 goals. We're saying a better striker won't be better. Marino has 5 goals in 7 games.
Not saying he won't be better. I'm saying if you compare the two, I think Isak's more effective against low blocks than Gyökeres. I'm happy with either.
Let me go to Alex's tweet. Alex's tweet was very interesting because he basically said he's not that guy. He's not the guy. That's what he said. And I think it's a little bit of an edgy take, but he's just to not do disservice to his actual take. What did he say? He said that after scouting him on Y Scout and looking at things, he thinks the player wars are very boring. But if Gyökeres were to sign, and bang, then he'd be buzzing. But he has doubts. And his doubts and the reason behind his doubts, he actually deleted the post.
What does it count? What does scouting count? What does that mean? What does he mean he scouted?
He watched why
did he go to the games?
So this is what he said. He said, just watch Gyökeres on Y Scout. Let me show you. Just watch Gyökeres on Y Scout. Not for me. United, Chelsea.
Was it like a 5-minute session? Was it a 30-minute session? Was it a couple of days? How did he scout him?
He watched him on Y Scout.
That's what you feel what I mean? Sometimes I don't like when people say they've scouted people when there's like real scouts who be spending months, years scouting one player, but we go on internet, we'll see 4 green lines and we'll see him hit 2 shots. We're like, oh yeah, he scouted. We know exactly what he go do. I don't like it. I don't like it.
You know what his words were? His exact words were, I don't like him outside the box. In the game state we face looks too like when facing goal. What he likes the ball when he's facing goal and doesn't really have much of a game back to goal.
Gyökeres can hold up the ball. He's technically all right.
Not sure we're the club for him right now.
Why? Okay, hold on. What is everyone's issue with Havertz right now? Isn't it the fact that they don't like the fact that he's back to goal? When he was playing LCM, they said they didn't like him doing back to the goal, back passes, very easy. They didn't like it. Now we have a guy that says, my only goal is goal. That's his only mission. When I look this way and the ball touches my foot, I want to shoot it. And that's a problem too? What do we want? What do we want? He doesn't roll contact well. He's generally not good in the air and a lot. But we have other players who are good in these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, question. Does this kid, is there someone in our team that has these qualities he has? Yeah. Do we have a player like this on our team?
No.
So why are we looking at things that he can't do versus the things he can do?
One specific thing. High turnovers to shots.
Which is what we struggle at right now.
No? We would get probably 5 to 6 goals out of the season out of it. He isn't great with his back to goal, doesn't roll contact well. He genuinely is not good in the air, and a lot of his goals are penalties. 18 this season.
Man said 5 out of 6, bro. 5 out of 6 goals more last season.
Man has 38 goals, and he said 18 of them are penalties.
Bro, 5. If those 5 more goals came last season, we win the league, bro. What?
He's basically saying Ollie Watkins is a better option.
Nah, bro. I can't. That's a reach.
The problem is, here's the thing though. Ollie Watkins is literally about to turn 30. Like we're age mates. So it's like I would understand why you would want to prioritize one or the other. Like Ollie Watkins wasn't Ollie Watkins when he was 24, 25. He wasn't in there. What he is now is he's peak striker, where you would want to be, where your career takes you as a striker. Why not find, like, if you can't get someone like a Haaland, you can't get the ready of an Isak. The next best thing is a project striker that actually wants to score goals.
Now he's discrediting the Portuguese league by saying, "Look at the goal scorers."
I hear it because look what Nunes did in the Portuguese league.
He's saying Gyökeres, Mehdi Taremi, Darwin Nunes, Pedro Gonzalez, Pezzi, Taremi.
But didn't Nunes save them in a lot of games this season? Like,
basically, he's saying the Portuguese league strikers had not really converted into.
Didn't Nunes save Liverpool in a lot of random situations this year?
Bro, Fema, don't do that. We know Nunes is bad, bro.
No, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but hasn't it been good for them to still have the player? I'm like, has it not been good for them to have this player in order for them to win the game they needed?
No, but that's not his point. His point is, can you name any of these players and say that they've had great careers outside of Portugal?
I'll say this. Does Liverpool, like, let's say hypothetically speaking, they don't have a Nunes. Do they claw themselves out of a lot of the situations they've clawed out of themselves this year when
they still win the league? They still win the league, bro. They still win the league.
With Mo Salah, they still do.
I don't know, bro.
They still win the league without Nunes, bro. That's crazy.
I don't know. Go back.
It's helping 2 games this season, bro. 2 games.
No. If I hear you,
bro, give Liverpool Mikel Moreno. They still win the league.
Go and look at the game winners he's had this year. Just go and look at the games that he's clawed them out of, like games where you just be sitting there. Like, mind you, I've had so many hate watches where like the hate watch is almost complete. I'm so happy I'm getting the tweets off. They'll throw in Nunes, just like, let's throw some chaos. Next thing you know, 2 goals in one moment. And you be sitting there like, how the fuck did that even happen? Mind you, he's already missed 7. But all of a sudden, 10
Does he have a case, though, that the Portuguese league standard, when it comes to goal scorers coming out of the Portuguese league, have not really been like highest level players?
Hey, a 3-point. You're telling me Arsenal fans aren't more into this league if it's not a 3-point lead that Liverpool had? We're not a bit more invested in the league if it's not a 3-point lead?
No, because we'll still find a way to keep drawing games, bro.
You're telling me right now if Arsenal is 3 points away right now, you're saying we're not
3 because there's a game in hand. It'll be 6 because
if it's 3 points,
you're telling me if Arsenal right now, if they said we were 3 points with a game in hand right now, you're still saying
no? I said we played an extra game.
So we're giving them the game in hand?
Yes, bro.
Why? Why
would you, bro? Because they've lost
last
1 game.
Time they had a game in hand. Last time they had a game in hand, they lost.
I don't care. That's not how we. You have to play the games.
And we still have to play Liverpool.
You're scared of Liverpool?
It's not about being scared, bro. But why am I going to go in thinking we're going to roll them over? We're not going to go. We're not going to go roll them over, bro. Like, I'm not that naive to go think we're going to.
So you don't believe we'd win that game?
Bro, it's not about. I'm not saying I don't believe, but I'm not going to go in there expecting to win. So I'm not going to be like, yeah, that's 3 points, and now it's only a 3-point situation, bro. I see it in my head. It would still be 6 points ahead, and I can't guarantee this Arsenal squad go and win the remaining games. I can't guarantee that, bro.
But
we're scraping it. We're scraping past Fulham. Gabriel's out.
But to be fair, we were comfortable versus Fulham. I don't know what you're talking about. Scrape.
He was not comfortable, bro. That should have been 2-2. How does Muniz miss that header?
Bro, it was the most comfortable 2-1.
But we missed our chances too.
17 attempts and 4 on target, bro. Every time we attack, I don't see us looking dangerous, looking like scoring, bro.
Trimless, what game were you watching? I thought we were very good attacking wise yesterday.
I'm not gonna do. Yesterday was not a good performance, bro. I spoke to a few Arsenal fans who agreed with me, a few who don't. I don't think yesterday was a good performance. I think it was very average performance, and we was lucky to get a win. Very average performance.
Average? Have you not been watching this season?
Wait, did you see what Fulham did to us?
Man, them. Palace just clipped them 3-0 with ease. With ease.
Wait, okay, hold on. Do you think that? Wait, hold on. Wait, Egal, please, I beg. Let me ask him. do you believe that Fulham played Crystal Palace the same way they played us? Do you think they set up the same way? No. I hate when people do that. Don't say it doesn't matter. I'm asking, do you think they set up the same way? Do you believe that they put three? Do you think that they put 3 over 6 feet center backs in the back and had 5 on every run?
Fema, pause right there. If Traore looks up, bro, I know it's an if. If Traore looks up, it's easy tapping for Jimenez. If Nunez can score from 3 yards out, easy goal. We could actually lost that game 3-2. For you man to say that was a very comfortable, confident game, I'm not hearing it. That was an average game.
Bro, they conceded in the 94th minute. Trimless. We conceded in the 94th minute, and even then, I knew the game was already won. Like, I never was worried.
You man don't think we caught life yesterday?
No, I was never worried.
Bro,
wait.
We caught life.
You know what kills me? Don't you think Fulham caught life if we didn't score 5? Egal, wait. Do you remember the Bournemouth game? Wait,
Marino, double deflection to score.
Egal, do you remember the Liverpool game? Egal, do you remember the Liverpool game? It was against, I think, Bournemouth, where the guy that just scored a hat trick, the game before, he scored a hat trick against Liverpool, open net. He hit it onto the right, and they ended up winning the game by 1. Bro, everybody has those games. I don't like that. Why is it only Arsenal that when we are comfortable and then a team misses here or there, all of a sudden Arsenal caught life? But every other team, when it happens to them,
we had 4 shots on targets. We had 4 shots on targets. They had 3.
Because they set up in a low.
We had 7. I don't care. That's how they set up, and their tactics almost works, bro. If Nunez could score from 2 yards out, we drop points in that game. And no one is saying that was a good performance. We controlled the game. Everyone is saying it's lackluster in attack again. We never look confident to score goals. Everything is out wide. We can't play through the middle, bro. It's dead. It's dead. If Martinelli didn't have a mad game, which was like his first game this season, he's looked mad. We lose that game. So what are we doing here? We were pushed yesterday. We wasn't.
I ask you this: how do you suppose we break down a low block? In your opinion, if you had to do it your way, how would you do it? If you don't want us to go wide, Hold on. There we go.
Hold on, because firstly, I wouldn't have my DM in strike because I would have organized my team better. Secondly, I would have midfielders who make runs in through the middle. No, what do? We throw Ødegaard out wide. Everything's out wide, bro. There's nothing down the middle. If you have them running in through the middle, you can switch it up.
I'm asking you, set it up. No, I'm asking you, set it up then. Like who? Tell me the runners. Tell me who you would want to make the runs then. When Saka was out,
I literally just said to you, I would have organized a different team.
Who?
Exactly, because Arteta has forced his style of play to be out wide.
Incorrect answer.
If you bang Waneri,
no.
Hold on, you asked me a question, but you're not letting me land, bro. Like, come on. If you had players like Waneri, like Smith Rowe in that midfield who can make runs in through that middle, it's a different game. Not everything's out wide. Then you have your Saka. Then you allow Saka with more space. You allow Martinelli with more space because you have players in the middle who can be a threat. But no, everything we do is out wide. It's boring, bro. It's so boring. Bournemouth generally play better football than us.
Okay, can I respond? Here's the unfortunate truth, right?
Tottenham play better football than us.
No. The unfortunate truth is you still don't really answer the question of how do you beat a low block, right? For instance, I'll give you an example. You said ESR, the same ESR that couldn't string together 3 carries in a row yesterday. You're saying that same guy would be able to do it against a more congested pack.
Ask me how to beat low blocks. I'm saying you have runners through the middle, bro. Name me one of our midfielders who would make a run past the defensive line.
Declan
Rice with his pace.
Declan Rice.
With his pace is going to cause problems.
Declan, are you going to land? You asked me to let you land. Are you going to let me land? When we lost our runners, I remember if you asked me who was Arsenal's runners, who would make that run you're asking for, Declan Rice, Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, Havertz. Those are our main runners. Those are the guys who will make the run you're looking for. Let me tell you who's been then out this season. Jesus has been out. Martinelli lost time for some time until eventually we had to move him to the right because we lost Saka and Ethan, who you're saying is this runner, is not a runner. He doesn't like running. He's not a runner. He does like he's a good dribbler.
He runs, bro. With
he's
the ball,
not a runner. He's not a runner. No,
when he has the ball, he runs. When he has the ball, he runs, bro.
When he has the ball, There's other parts to football. When
he will run through the middle, bro. Ødegaard goes out wide every time.
You don't.
Everything's out wide.
You do not beat a congested block through the middle unless you're Messi. Name me who's doing it.
I've literally seen multiple teams play through the middle against low blocks. Not everything is out wide, G.
Name them right now.
That's where the creativity comes. The passing.
Name the team.
We literally used to do it with Jack Wilshere and them, man, bro. And Giroud.
Name the team now. Name the Premier League team right now.
Yes, but bro, you literally asked me what would I set up. I would have different personnel, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I'd have different personnel now. Name the team now. I'd have different
personnel. You asked me how I'd set up. You can't do it with this personnel, bro. Why? Because he's built this. He has built an out wide philosophy, and it's boring, bro. It's not that effective. I'm sorry. Especially when you don't have a proper number 9.
Nah, I think what happens is people forget that other teams are also allowed to play football against us. So people think that we're just casually not doing things because it's like we're just not doing them. Fulham came into this game thinking, if we leave this game 0-0, I'm happy. I'm fine. Everything that they built this year in terms of how they want to play, they threw it out the way because of us. The same team that doesn't have a striker, who Saka is playing his first game back, and that's how much fear we put into the point where I've never seen Fulham play 3 in the back all season. I did not see them play 3 in the back once this season. But now all of a sudden, scary Arsenal's here. So now all of a sudden, you got 3 in the back. Now all of a sudden, they want to play counterattack with fucking big-ass Sorare. And he didn't do jack shit even when Gabriel left. I don't like this, bro. They set up not to play football against us. They came in.
They almost scored 3 goals. But they set up not to play football against us. But they had more clear-cut chances than us. But okay.
Give me another game that they played 3 in the back. Give me one game.
Bro, I don't watch Fulham, bro. What are we doing here? But you know what? You want to take Fema? You want to do this kind of situation? 2021, 2022 Arsenal when we was playing attacking. I beg you watch go some of those games, bro. Not everything was out wide, bro.
Wait, 2021 when we went 8. Wait, the 5th? When we went 5th?
Oh, the first time we came second, bro. Sorry, 2022, 23.
2023. Yeah, when teams gave us space, when teams didn't respect us, when teams didn't come to look at us, get 3 in the back.
Bro,
we were not playing one until the end of the year where we chose.
I'm telling you, the last 2 years, what is it? It's defend and get the ball out wide. That's what we do. Defend, get the ball out wide.
What does
Liverpool do? Who we're playing? Even when we play against teams who don't do low blocks, even when we go against teams who don't do low blocks, we do not attack through the middle. It is everything out wide. It's so predictable. I'm telling you.
But that is how. I'm not even trying to be a dickhead here, but it's like it's one of those situations where it's like, I'm telling you, teams are putting all bodies in the middle, and you're saying, why don't we put more bodies in the middle? It's like when there's
I'm not asking to put more bodies in the middle, bro. I'm just asking for a bit of versatility. I'm just asking. I just don't want us to look predictable every game. Fema, you're moving a bit, bro, a bit stuck, bro. I'm just asking for a bit of creativity in our attack. It's just very predictable, bro. When we play against Everton, this 12:30 kickoff against Everton, it's gonna be a boring attack in display again. Go watch. That's what I'm saying.
And then
asking for something different.
When Saka gets
some creativity. And now what we're doing, we're relying on a DM in number 9.
Woo! We're saying rely as if it's not the situation we're in. I'm sorry
why are we in that situation, bro?
Because what do you call it? Jesus decided to try to, instead of running through Bruno Fernandes.
It's like 3 years to sign a striker, bro. 3 years.
I can't. You're saying I'm moving mad, but every time that like you say something and then I try to combat it, you then talk over me, but I'm wilding. I didn't say anything other than, hey, you asked me, why aren't we creative? Jesus, you mentioned the 22-23 season as if Jesus wasn't one of our biggest creators and chaos creators. We act as if like we forget what we were. Can I finish? We act as if for some reason we completely forget what made us us. We forget that Jesus will come as far as literally standing side by side with Zinchenko, carry the ball, turn, run. All of a sudden, we're running inside because we had chaos. I'm sorry that he tore his kneecaps. I'm sorry that then when we decided to then replace him with Havertz, and then he tore his hamstring, I'm sorry we didn't have a third option.
Yo, you've answered my question. I'm not even going to say anything more. We replaced him with Havertz. Thank you, bro. Done. I'm done. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Yo, you know what? We're gonna have to do this again another day.
Hold on, one second. We didn't replace, and I want to make sure the stream hears me. We didn't replace Jesus. We were trying to get Jesus. We were planning for Jesus to still be here. We didn't plan for him to blow his kneecaps the second time. Now we got into a crisis mode where Havertz, who again is not supposed to be the out and out 9 to begin with. When you listen to the interviews, they said, hey, Arteta, do you think Havertz is going to be a 9 or you think he's going to be midfield? Hey, he's going to be doing a middle of both. We're just going to see based on the situation. Beautiful. All of a sudden now, because of the injuries that we had, all of a sudden Declan Rice is supposed to be 6, is playing 8. Now all of a sudden the Spurs is supposed to be 8, is playing 10. We've been in injury crisis since the beginning of the season.
Sounds like poor management from me.
Hey, then the same thing for Man City. Then same thing. Why didn't they have a Rodri number 2 in the back? Why don't they have a Havertz replacement? No. That's why they don't. City as well. They don't have a Havertz, a Haaland replacement, so they're bad management as well. We should just have world class players just ready on the bench, ready to go because we know everyone's gonna tear their ACLs. We just know. So let's just have.
We didn't even have one, bro. Jesus was never gonna score 20 goals in one season.
But we didn't need him to score 20 goals. Did he score 20 goals in 22-23? He doesn't have to score 20 goals.
And we didn't even have a number 9. And what happened, bro?
He doesn't have to score.
What happened after the World Cup? What happened after the World Cup? What happened to Jesus after the World Cup?
He doesn't have to score 20 goals for me to be prolific. That's not his job. That wasn't his job.
He's had 3 years, bro. 3 years to sign a striker, bro. 3 years.
You're not hearing me, bro. Like, and I'm not trying to argue on some like I know more ball than you. I'm saying Jesus was not here to score a bad 20 goals. We know that. But what he does do for us was when he got the ball, he created chaos. We are missing chaos. I'm sorry, bro. I hate when people talk about Jesus as if he's just some random guy that just wasn't scoring goal. He created chaos. We don't have the same unpredictability that you said, oh, we don't have the 22-23. That was him. That was him.
So, Femo, if you're Arteta, yeah, and you're seeing Jesus cannot be available to create this chaos,
how do you see that?
Are you not going to try and readdress that area?
He tried to. They said no. He said, hey, guys. He said, hey, everyone, when do I say I don't want a striker? He said, please, can I get a strike? Hey, there's an Ollie Watkins. Can we get someone like him? It's a bit too much. 20 million is a little too much. That's literally what we're watching. We tried. Arteta went to the board. He said, hey, guys, can I please have a little bit more money so we can get it because we want to win the league? No, we're going to wait till the summer. Again? That's what he's dealing with. That's the board.
I think you're giving Arteta too much credit. There's a reason why Edu left, bro. I'm telling you, man. There's more to it, bro. There's so much more. To it.
So Arteta,
this is the same. Hold on. This is the same Arteta that came out and said, "Oh no, guys, why do we need a striker? Look how many goals we scored."
Arteta literally said, "Did I say I didn't need a striker?" There's an interview specifically verbatim. He said, "Did you hear from my mouth that I said I don't want a striker?" And I play it to everyone every time. I ask him every time. Did he say to you or to any of us, I don't want a striker, I don't need a striker? Have you seen that quote ever? Or was it?
You know what I did see? I did see, bro, there was literally an interview. He said he has scored 92 goals this season and he's happy with the squad. That's what he said. He's happy. He's happy.
But he's also said literally, there's an interview that I don't mind sending later, right?
No, but if he wants to do the flip-flop thing, then that's not going to back his case. It's either you're happy, you're happy or you're pressed that the board has not allowed you to get the striker so you can get over the line.
He didn't know that Saka was going to blow his hamstring. He didn't know how.
You prepare as a manager. You prepare. We don't even have a backup for Saka.
Name the team.
3 years. He's never addressed the backup for Saka.
What name me the Premier League team that is as prepared as you're saying Arsenal's will be as prepared? Name me the Premier League team that is doing it the way you're saying. Because you're asking for things that don't exist. I also want $1 billion, but it doesn't exist.
A cover for Saka doesn't make sense. That's what you're saying.
Who is Salah's cover? Who's Haaland's cover? Who you can't? There's usually no covers for the top elite. There's no cover unless you're Madrid who can blow bread like that. We talk about Arsenal.
You need to understand the different words between cover and replacement. As much as you might not rate him, Harvey Elliott was the cover. He's technically sound. Bro, we've tried Reece Nelson out there. We've tried Fabio Vieira out there. It's ugly. We've not addressed it. The number 9, it's not been addressed. We've had to play a centre mid, 2 centre mids now, technically with Havertz, in the 9. Bro, it's just upsetting, G. Because how comes everyone can see it, but he's too stubborn to address it? But we're going to buy more left backs. We're going to buy Calaflori.
So if he buys attackers this summer, do you apologize or do you say, nah, he finally learned his lesson? Are you one of those people where you'll never actually apologize for this? Because it's like, I
want to be proven wrong, bro. I want to be proven wrong, G. So yes, I would apologize. I'm
That's
not,
it,
I'm not
then.
weird like that.
Okay, cool. When this summer, and I'll say this for everyone, this summer, when we spend the money we spend on the attack, I want everyone to just remember when we had the likes of Sanchez and we had the likes of Aubameyang, we always like, damn, I wish we had the midfield and the defense for us to platform them. Now we actually have it to platform these attackers, and we're complaining we did it backwards first. There's never no winning with us, bro. There's no winning. It doesn't feel like we can win because when we had Sanchez, we all, I wish we had a team that can compete. I wish we had a team that all of a sudden that matched their drive. Now we did it from the back first. Now we actually have a good defense. Now we actually have a midfield that can hold their own against the bigs. Now we can just add
your camera froze.
3 pieces.
Femi, your camera froze.
Well, Femi, we bet.
oh, no, I know.
I'm just gonna say this. We're gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna have to do this again. We'll have another conversation again. But right now, I'm gonna be back tomorrow, guys. I'll be on Dan Potts' channel later today. Femi, thank you for joining me. Connor, thank you for joining. Trimless, big up. And I'm definitely gonna have to clip this up because more people need to see this wonderful conversation. It's very heated, but you know what?
Here we go.
It's a brotherly
Hey,
conversation.
Trim, you're a great guy, by the way, bro. I actually love this conversation, bro.
No, it was good. It was good. My issue is this, bro. I'm just tired of accepting just not winning anything, bro. That's all it is.
And you know something, Femi? He's always in the trenches with me, fighting after games, telling people chill. It wasn't that bad. Today he just disagrees. But hey, we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Hooks is live. What?
No, I think he was saying hook me up.
Hook me up. Oh, Rodney, bro. Long time, bro. Hope you're doing well, man. Guys, first live back since Eid. Hope you guys had a good one. We'll catch you guys in the next one. People saying top gooners. I'm pretty sure Trimless doesn't consider himself a top gooner. But there you go. We have you guys again next day. Peace out, guys.